All right, so I have this question here from Essay. Essay is saying, I've been struggling with something I just discovered that has been affecting me for years. I find it hard to stay committed to anything, either a job or a skill or even a relationship. And this has really affected my growth and progress. I set goals and I never really achieved them. I'm currently looking for ways to transit from this. What advice do you have for me to help me change? Because even making decisions and sticking to it is something I cannot do. All right, so thanks for this question, Essay. And I think it's a very good question. It's a very honest and vulnerable question. It's a very real question. And it's a very common question, even though a lot of people might not verbalize it. That's why I would commend you for having the courage to verbalize it. There are more people with this problem in today's world than you can imagine. So many people. The rarest thing in today's world is focus. It's the rarest thing in the world today. Focus followed by contentment. Those two things, incredibly rare. Rarer than gold, rarer than diamond. Focus and contentment. Those are the rarest jewels in today's world. So it's not hearing this your question or reading this your question is not something strange. A lot of people can identify with it. To a very large extent, I can identify with it. We all struggle with distractions and dissatisfaction. It's very common. Contentment and focus. And that is why you are not able to stay in a lot of things, activities and relationships. Number one, you are distracted. Number two, you are not contented. And why is this? That's because I just did a podcast about ideology and reality, and I might share it with you on the Telegram group. And that's because a lot of times our ideology is we pick our ideology from the wrong place. We pick our ideology from the wrong place and doesn't align with our reality. So our ideology is squeaky clean and our reality is checkered. And then you feel whenever that happens, the problem is always to try to change your reality. So you're always looking for another reality that is squeaky clean. And squeaky clean can be anything. When your reality is not interesting every day, you see your reality as boring. So you try to go to a reality that is always exciting. And there is no such reality in this world that is always exciting. So if you're in a relationship with somebody, is that ideology and reality? It's either after a while you start seeing the flaws in this person. She's too fat, she talks too much, she has too much pimples, she does this. So you don't see her as a human being anymore with flaws and shortcomings. What you expect is a human being that should be the way you want her to be in your head, which is perfect. And if that doesn't happen, you need to move to the next human being, which is in your head perfect. Then you realize that one is not perfect. Then you go to the next one, is not perfect. Then the next one is not perfect. Before you know, you had a string of like 5 relationships. Then you feel the problem is in the relationships. No, the problem is in your head. Because your ideology doesn't match your reality. And your ideology is squeaky clean. And reality is not squeaky clean. The same thing with jobs too. People have jobs, but then they keep on looking for that ideal job. So you're in a job, the office is too small, the hours are too long, and the pay is not enough, and my boss is too troublesome. So you keep looking for a job where hours are good, job is good, boss is an angel, all those things, but you never find it. Then you try to set up a business. Oh, let me manage my own time. Clients are too difficult. There's too few and far between. That kind of thing. And it's kind of that you now realize that doesn't work too. They keep going from entrepreneur to employee to entrepreneur to employee. Then you go for one course. You want to be a graphic designer today, a UX designer tomorrow, because you see flaws in all these things. And everyone say, oh, this is the new thing. It's great. That's the problem with when people come out on social media just over advertising a particular field. It happens in the creative industry where everybody's over advertising this UX and UI industry like if it's just heaven. Oh, I'm a UX designer, I'm making $7,000 a month. Someone just drops all they're doing. Oh man, I never made that from graphic design. I should go and put my turns in UX. They do UX and I realize, I've been doing UX for the past 4 years now. Nobody has paid me up to $1,000 a month. Not even $5,000, not $500 a month. You understand? That's because someone has painted a squeaky clean ideology that you are beginning to adopt as your reality. And when that doesn't happen, you hop to the next thing. Focus is a big problem because it's rooted largely in discontentment and our need for perfection. You understand? So what you really need is a sense of contentment. And I tell people, contentment is not having everything you want. Contentment is being happy with what you have. And I'll say that again because a lot of people think contentment is having everything you want. No, contentment is being happy with everything you have. So one thing I would tell Essay is you need to take an audit of everything you have. In terms of relationship, in terms of ability, in terms of everything, natural giftings, and you need to say, I accept it. This is what I have, I accept it. And begin to see the good in everything you have and begin to treasure it. When you treasure it, you will stay with it. You discard things because you don't treasure it. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you don't treasure the good part of them. That's why you discard it because you're seeing bad parts. If you're in a job, because you don't see the good part of the job, you discard it because you don't see the good part of the job. You're looking for the perfect job, which doesn't exist. It's a vicious cycle. It doesn't exist. Even those working in Google, see, that's the problem I have with all these platforms. LinkedIn is one of, in my opinion, it is more toxic than Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. I'm sorry to say, but LinkedIn is, I'm not even sorry to say, LinkedIn is the most toxic. Where people just come and just talk about, I just got the job, and all of them make their jobs look like the best. You hardly have anybody telling the truth in LinkedIn. They always talk about the first day of their job. Do you understand? A lot of people talk about, I just got the job there. Then tell us about the reality. What are things you really don't like about this job? So everybody comes looking for a perfect job like that person that posted on LinkedIn. So everybody on LinkedIn has reached their bus stop in life. As in, man, I'm just fulfilled. Everybody putting up their achievements. Nobody putting up their struggles. At least on Instagram, you see how people putting up struggles. You see how people on Instagram putting up struggles. Very few people on LinkedIn putting up struggles. Instagram is still toxic, but then when we have this environment where everybody is squeaky clean living, then the pressure is you want to get to that. So you cut out things in your life that are not squeaky clean. And that's a lack of contentment. So you need contentment, Essay. You need contentment. And the truth is, where does contentment comes from? Contentment comes from a form of spirituality, having a relationship with God. That's where it comes from. It's hard to be content without a relationship with God. Because when you have a relationship with God, one thing happens. You realize, number one, the detail in your life and the detail in the world around you. You begin to understand the detail in your makeup and realize that you are not an accident. You begin to hear the quality and the pitch of your own voice. You begin to see this texture of your own skin. You begin to see what is unique about you. Not what is not there. You begin to appreciate what is there. Spirituality opens our eyes. You begin to appreciate the wind, the sun, the animals, the ability to hear and see and smell. And then you realize how blessed you really are. When you're ignorant of your blessings, you begin to live in a world of discontentment, even though you are fully blessed. That's one thing. So it must start from Essay knowing who Essay is. When Essay knows who Essay is and accepts who Essay is, Then essay, because he accepts himself and sees beauty in himself, you begin to see the world as beautiful. And you begin to see your job as beautiful. And begin to see your relationships as beautiful. But when you criticize yourself and you don't see who you are, you begin to see the flaws in your work, in your relationship. And that's when you begin to hop from one to another looking for a perfect one. But you will never see a perfect one because you don't even see a perfect you. You understand? So, contentment is what you need. It helps you with focus. Another thing you might need, essay, is you need things that are building your muscles of this. You need to cut away from things that are building your muscles of distraction. So a lot of times we are looking for focus, but we spend so much time on social media, which is gymming us to be distracted. The more time you spend on social media, the more you perfect the act of distraction. Because social media is telling you to spend less time on one content per time. So it's telling you, short, move on. So Instagram, 260 words, move on to the next one. Instagram, 3-minute video, move on to the next one. You understand? So it's fast. It's not allowing you to stay with one thing and focus on it. So the more you stay on social media, I'm not saying social media is bad, but the more you spend most of your time there, the more you are exercising yourself to be more distracted. So what I would advise you to do is try taking up the activity of reading. Do you understand? Reading trains you to slow down. I never used to be a big reader, but then I've learned to be a big reader. Because once you are reading, you are focusing on one book. And that book is telling you in so many pages about one subject matter. So you are forced to discipline yourself to read and to learn about one subject matter per time. You must try taking up the activity of reading. And reading is interesting. The problem is that people read books that they don't like. So you must find the kind of books that you like. If you want to read fiction books, read fiction books. If you like business books, read business books. If you write self-help books, go and find self-help books. If you like comics, go and get comics. As long as it's a book, a physical book, start. Put your phone away and try to sit down and read a book. It trains you to be focused. You understand? It trains you, if in that area of focus, the book doesn't train you to be content, or spirituality trains you to be content. Have a relationship with God. You understand? If you're a Christian, read your Bible. Take time to read your Bible. You understand? Take time to read your Bible and talk to God about what you've read in your Bible. That helps you to find contentment. Focus, on the other hand, you have to do some activities that allow you to be focused. And those activities that allow you to spend time away from this device called your phone. You understand? And part of it is reading. Read. 1 hour every day. Just read. Just 1 hour, I'm going to read. And you see how you start learning to focus on a subject matter per time. Not random subject matters. And that's what will help you. But what you are going through is a lack of focus, distraction, and lack of contentment, dissatisfaction. And those are 2 things you need to get rid of.